Welcome to VLearn. This is session 2 of system programming. Today we are going to cover different topics like system software definition. Firstly, we will cover this topic: system software versus machine architecture, simplified instructional computer, SIC machine architecture. Then we will cover some SIC programming examples, SIC machine architecture, XE architecture we are going to cover, and SIC XE programming examples. Right? So let us define the definition of system software. What is system software? The whole software industry is basically divided into two parts. One is said to be the application software, another is said to be the system software. The examples of application softwares are like, which are the examples? Like Tally, Oracle, MS Office. These are the examples of application software. And what are the examples of system software? System software, the best example of system software is operating system. So let us now recap the definition of system software. That system software basically consists of a variety of programs that supports the operation of a computer. One characteristic in which the most system software differs from the application software is machine dependency. Right? When, like, we are taking some examples. When you took the first programming course, then first programming course includes the definition of text editor, compiler, linker, loader, debugger. Right? So they are the examples of system software basically. And when you wrote the assembler language, then comes the role of assembler as well as macroprocessor. So assembler and macroprocessor, they are also the examples of system software. You control all of this process by interacting with the operating system. So all this collectively give rise to the system software. Now, system software versus machine architecture. One characteristic in which most system software differs from application software is machine dependency. Yes, dependency of machine matters a lot while dealing with the system software, because an assembler is a kind of system software. So when assembler translate mnemonic instruction into the machine code, so it totally depends upon the type of machine. It means machine dependency is there. Similarly, compiler must generate the machine language code. So operating system are directly concerned with the management of nearly all of the resources of a computing system. So all these resources which the operating system used for the management of all resources comes under the category of system software. There are some aspects of the system software that do not directly depend upon the type of computing system. कुछ ऐसे पैरामीटर्स भी अवेलेबल हैं जो कि डायरेक्टली टाइप ऑफ कंप्यूटिंग सिस्टम पे डिपेंड नहीं करती हैं. राइट? जनरल डिजाइन एंड लॉजिक ऑफ एन असेंबलर. एक असेंबलर किस टाइप से काम करेगा, इट डज नॉट डिपेंड्स अपॉन द टाइप ऑफ मशीन. मीन्स इट इज इंडिपेंडेंट ऑफ द मशीन डिपेंडेंट मशीन. अनदर इज code optimization technique. Which best possible path you will make use to for the optimal utilization of the resources of the computer, like memory, time, processor speed and all these, that all comes under the which technique? That is code optimization technique. So general design and logic as well as the code optimization technique, they all are independent of computer system. Right? The simplified instructional computer, that is, in short, it is called as a SIC. So what is SIC? It is basically a hypothetical computer, a imaginary sort of computer that includes the hardware feature that are most often found on real machine. So although it is hypothetical by nature, but still it includes some features, hardware features rather, that are found on real machine. So we are having two versions of SIC, or we can say two versions of simplified instructional computer. First one is called as a standard model and another is called as a XE version. SIC machine architecture consists of memory, and memory is in the form of 8-bit bytes. 3 consecutive bytes are used to form a byte, to form a word basically. 2 raised to the power 15 bytes in the computer memory is there. And we are having 5 registers in SIC machine architecture. What were these? Can you think about the name of that registers or the mnemonics that we have used for representing the register, that we have already covered in the previous session, that was session 1. So mnemonic were used as A, that is for accumulator. It is simply used for arithmetic operation. X is used for as a index register and it is used for addressing purpose. Next is linkage register, in which we have used a JSUB. PC register, that is program counter. Status word, which including the CC commands, right? In terms of data format, SIC machine architecture consists of integers which are stored as 24-bit binary numbers, and 2's complement representation is used for the negative values. No floating point hardware is there, and instruction format is divided into 2 parts, opcode and address. Another is addressing mode, which is represented by the X bit. And X, if the value of X is 0, it was direct code mode of addressing, and if it is of 1, it is of indirect or indexed 1, right? So SIC machine, now we are going to cover some examples of the SIC programming, right? We are having some registers like LDA. आप उसको कैसे कोड की फॉर्म में लिखेंगे? LDA 5 load constant 5 into register A. Similarly, another code is STA alpha store in alpha. LDCH means load character, इसका आप डेटा टाइप यूज करेंगे कैरेक्टर Z and Z into the register A. STCH C1 store in character variable C1, right? So alpha is basically the one word variable, 5 is also the one word constant, character Z is a 1 byte constant, C1 is a 1 byte variable. I think you people are very much be aware of the difference between the variable and the constant. Let us take a recap of the same. Variables are those memory locations whose value keep on changing time to time, but constant are fixed by their nature. Once you set a value to a constant, it cannot be changed, it will be same throughout the program, right? Now I am taking another example. Here we have covered the coding part. If we are writing that LDA hash 5, it means load value 5 into register A, because A stands for, we have talked about the 5 registers. How many registers were there? 5. So out of 5, one was LDA, that stands for the accumulator. So this instruction, that LDA hash 5, gives the instruction to accumulator that load value 5 into the register A. Similarly, if we are giving the instruction like STA alpha, it means store in alpha, right? LDA hash 90, it means load ASCII code for Z, because the ASCII value of Z is 90. And which register you are going to store? It is being stored into the register A, because or LDA means A, we are talking about the A register. Similarly, STCH C1 means store in the character variable C1, and when we are using that alpha RESW1, it means one word variable we are going to use. Similarly, C1 means 1 byte variable. So these are the sample data movement operation for SIC and SIC extended equipments, right? Another examples are like data movement means no memory move. Always remember that when we are going to deal with the SIC programming, that data movement means basically that no memory move instruction is there. 3 byte word we are going to use. कौन से 3 byte word हमने यूज किए हैं? LDA, STA, LDL, STL, LDX and STX. And 1 byte word is LDCH, STCH. Storage definition, word reset and byte reset, right? SIC programming examples. Arithmetic operations are performed using register A with the result being left in the register A. Always whenever you are going to deal with the arithmetic operation or you want to perform some arithmetic operation, which register you can make use? That is register A with the result being left in the register A. Looping can also be done, like we can implement, we can initialize the variable, we can set the limit and we can increment the counter. Compare it with the operand, that is our plus, minus and all this, then set the sys instructions. SIC XE machine architecture includes the memory of, कितनी मेमोरी होती है SIC extended equipment machine architecture में? 2 raised to the power 20 bytes in computer memory. And extended machine architecture includes more registers also, like the mnemonics that we use for these registers are B. B stands for base register and it is used for addressing. S stands for general working register. T stands for general working register and F stands for floating point accumulator, that is of 48 bits, right? So these are the name of the register that we use in the extended equipment simple instructional code. They are having the data format also, like we have covered in the SIC. Floating point data type is equal to frac into 2 exponential minus 1024. Instruction format is having the large memory that give rise to the extended memory addressing capacity, right? So depending upon the value of the exponential, the format is changed basically, right? Standard or simplified instruction code machine architecture consists of different addressing modes, like when the value of B is equal to 1 but the value of P is equal to 0, then the addressing mode is said to be the base relative, right? Similarly, when the value of this B is 0 but the value of P is 1, then the addressing mode is program counter relative. When B and P both are 0, then it is said to be the direct mode, and when the value of X is 1, it means it is called as a indexed. In all these mode, the target address calculation is different, right? How the target address is used? Now let us discuss this part also. Target address is basically used to get the operand value. We are having 3 types of addressing mode to get the target address. First one is immediate addressing, another is indirect addressing, next one is simple addressing. And when we talk about the immediate addressing, that means the value of I as well as I is 1 and the value of N is 0. In indirect addressing, vice versa is there, that is I is having the value of 0, it is being initialized by the 0, and N is having the value of 1. Simple addressing either they can have the value of I and n both 0, or I or n is having both the value of 1. When it is of I and n both are having the value of 0, then it is called as a simple instruction computer, because all end with the 0. And when it is having I and n bit is having the value of 1, then it is corresponding to simple instructional computer extended equipment. Right, now you have to make one point over there, you have to note it down, that indexing cannot be used with immediate or indirect addressing modes. Right, SIC instruction computer extended equipment machine architecture consists of new register, that is LDB, STB etc. floating point arithmetic के लिए हम यूज करते हैं, ADDF, sub F, mul F, div F. ये एक्सटेंडेड की बात कर रहे हैं, जबकि नॉर्मल में हमारा क्या था, ऐड, सब्सट्रैक्ट, मल्टीप्लाई के लिए हम MUL लिखते थे. रजिस्टर्स मूव यूज एज RMO, register to register arithmetic are performed by ADDR, SUBR, MULR, DIVR. Supervisor call is called as like SVC. It generates an interrupt for the operating system. And input output के regarding we are having SIO, TIO, HIO, that is start, test, halt the operation of input output devices. Right, now SIC XE programming examples covers lots of things. Right, if we are using the LDT #11, it means initialize register T to 11. LDX #0 means initialize index register to 0. LDCH, load character from string 1 into register A. Right, so these are the examples which will make you clear about the things of the system programming. Before ending this session, we are going to provide you 2 questions and you have to write the 10 points for the same, and these 10 points should be of crispy type. It should not have the lengthy explanation. You have to write just pointed crispy points over this. First question is, explain SIC/XE machine architecture. Another is, define system software. With this we are going to finish this session. Thank you.